Before the great empires shaped our world, a peninsula of mountains and seas lay waiting, a land where destiny was yet to be written. This was a place of dramatic coastlines, where the sun broke through mist over the Tyrrhenian Sea, promising a future as vast as the ocean itself. Long before the name Rome echoed through history, this land was a mosaic of cultures. The Etruscans, with their mysterious origins, the Greeks, who brought philosophy and art to its southern shores, and the hardy Latins of the Central Plains all tilled this soil. They were the first architects of Italy, sowing the seeds of a greatness that would one day astound the world. Then, along the foggy banks of the Tiber River, a humble settlement began to take shape. Settlers built simple huts, never imagining their small village was destined to command the known world. Its name was Rome. Legend tells us that myth gave birth to this history. In the golden morning mist, a she-wolf, a creature of the wild, was said to have nursed two abandoned infants. They were Romulus and Remus, twin brothers tied by blood but divided by fate. One was destined to found a city, the other to fall, a tragic first chapter in a story of immense power and ambition. From these mythical beginnings, a new form of governance arose. The age of kings gave way to the Republic, a daring experiment in freedom, order, and collective will. In halls of gleaming marble, sunlight piercing through grand arches, senators debated the future, forging a system of laws and governance that would influence civilizations for millennia. This new republic was not content to remain within its city walls. Its strength was in its legions, disciplined warriors who marched under the Roman eagle. Through dust and sunlight, their shields glinting, they carried Rome's banner far beyond its original borders, building an empire not just of territory, but of discipline and a shared sense of destiny. But Rome's ascent was not unchallenged. Across the Mediterranean, another power thrived, Carthage. For over a century, these two titans clashed in a series of brutal conflicts known as the Punic Wars. Over stormy seas and blood-soaked lands, they fought for supremacy, a struggle that would ultimately decide who would rule the ancient world. In the end, there could be only one victor. From the ashes of this titanic conflict, the Roman Empire rose, vast, united, and powerful beyond imagination. The Colosseum, a monument to this new power, began to rise, its scaffolding a testament to the ambition that now held the world in its grasp. The architect of this new era was Augustus, the first emperor.
He famously found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble. But his true legacy was peace. He ushered in the Pax Romana, an unprecedented era of stability that allowed culture, trade, and ideas to flourish across the empire's vast expanse. A network of roads, masterfully engineered, became the arteries of this new world. All roads lead to Rome was not just a saying. It was a truth built by hands, stone, and an unwavering faith in the empire's endurance.
These roads carried soldiers, merchants, and pilgrims, connecting a diverse and sprawling population. And what a population it was! Rome was a world within itself, a vibrant, chaotic, and brilliant tapestry of humanity. From the enslaved toiling in mines to the senators debating in the forum, from citizens enjoying the public baths to poets reciting verses in sun-drenched villas, this was a society in constant motion, living, breathing, and seemingly eternal. Yet even the greatest powers are not immune to decay. Power bred pride, and with pride came complacency and corruption. From within, the heart of the empire began to crumble under its own immense weight, and dark clouds gathered on the horizon. The end came in 476 CE. In the cold mist of a changing world, the walls of Rome were breached, and its citizens fled into the uncertain darkness. The Western Roman Empire had fallen, a cataclysm that shook the foundations of civilization. But the spirit of Rome, its legacy of law, language, and culture, refused to die. As Europe entered what would be called the Dark Ages, Italy became a sanctuary. In quiet monasteries perched on foggy hills, monks worked by candlelight, painstakingly preserving the ancient scrolls of philosophy, science, and literature, keeping the flame of wisdom alive for future generations. While the old empire was a memory, new powers began to emerge from the morning mist. The great city-states of Florence, Venice, and Milan rose to prominence. Proud, fiercely independent, and bursting with commercial and artistic ambition, they became the new centers of influence in a fragmented world. It was from one of these cities, Florence, that a new dawn broke across Europe. A spectacular rebirth of art, science, and the human spirit swept the continent. This was the Renaissance, a time when humanity looked back to the classical world to rediscover its own potential. This era was defined by its geniuses. Leonardo da Vinci, a man whose curiosity knew no bounds, dreamed of flying machines centuries before they were possible. His mind was a universe in itself, producing everything from anatomical sketches to the world's most enigmatic smile. Then there was Michelangelo, who seemed to hold conversations directly with God through his art. He turned cold stone into living, breathing emotion and transformed the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel into a vision of heaven, his brushstrokes alive with soul. On the water, another power flourished. Venice, the floating empire, built its fortune on trade, its canals carrying the wealth of the world. It was a city of art, intrigue, and dreams, a testament to what could be built on water and ambition. Meanwhile, in Rome, faith and politics became deeply intertwined. The papacy grew in power as popes ruled not just over souls, but over kingdoms, commanding armies and shaping the political destiny of Europe. From these shores, a new age of exploration was launched. Brave sailors, funded by Italian city-states, set forth from Genoa and Venice, their ships sailing west into the unknown. They carried maps that glowed in the candlelight, and their voyages would reshape the map of the world forever. But such greatness inevitably brought envy. For centuries, Italy, rich in culture and wealth, became the coveted prize of Europe's kings. The Italian wars saw the land scarred by conflict, its plains filled with the smoke of cannons as foreign armies clashed for control of the peninsula. Out of this long struggle, a new dream was born by the 19th century, not a dream of conquest, but of unity. Patriots like Giuseppe Garibaldi led their followers through misty fields, waving the tricolor flag and fighting for the idea of a single Italian nation. In 1861, that dream became a reality. Fireworks lit up the sky over Rome as crowds celebrated the unification of Italy. A new nation was born, at once ancient in its heritage and newborn in its political form. But the 20th century brought new storms. The world was plunged into two devastating wars, and the land of beauty once again faced the horror of destruction. Soldiers marched through snow and smoke, and cities that had stood for centuries were turned to rubble. Yet from this ruin, rebirth rose once again, the eternal rhythm of Italian resilience. The nation rebuilt, its spirit unbroken. After the darkness of war came a golden age of art and culture. In the 1960s, the world fell in love with Italy. Italian cinema, fashion, and music captivated global audiences. From the laughter in Roman cafes to the whir of film cameras at Cinecittà, Italy was once again reshaping the modern world, this time with style, creativity, and a passion for life. Today, Italy stands as a living heart of culture, a place where history isn't just in museums. It breathes through every stone, every street, and every conversation. The spirit of the Renaissance is not a distant memory. It lives on. Every generation of artists, designers, and thinkers reawakens the belief that beauty, reason, and creativity can indeed change the world. Empires rise and fall, borders shift, and ages pass. But Italy endures, an eternal empire not of legions and territories, but of art, spirit, and power. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through time. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to explore more of history's greatest tales with us. See you next time.